Navien delivers an endless supply of hot water for everyone.
Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com or your professional Navien contractor.
Count on Navien.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now. 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-735-8360. That's 800-735-8360. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-735-8360.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cyber criminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
If you can't seem to stay ahead of your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. This program has been used by thousands to legally forgive millions in unsecured debt. It's not bankruptcy. It's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven from what you owe your creditors. Call for free information and get all your questions answered in the first free call. The more you owe, the more you can save. If you have at least $10,000 or more in credit card bills, this debt forgiveness program can be very effective. Call for free information and find out more now. 800-291-6670. There is no cost or obligation for the information. Don't wait. Call 800-291-6670. That's 800-291-6670. Get your debt problem solved. Call 800-291-6670 today. Not available in North Dakota.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
You're listening to Writer Than You.
Hey, man, what's happening? Bill Ryder. You're like one of the best guys on the radio right now. The most thoughtful topics and presented in such a way that it doesn't turn people away at all. It's a pleasure to listen to you every day, man.
It's Writer Than You with Bill Ryder.
What's going on? Bill Ryder with you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Player of the Week is brought to you by Granger. Let's take a look at the one who got it done. This week, it's Virginia guard DeAndre Hunter. In last night's national championship victory over Texas Tech, Hunter scored 27 points on 8 of 16 shooting, including 4 3-pointers. 22 of those 27 points came in the second half at overtime, and that one big three is the shot that sent the game to that overtime. The Player of the Week was brought to you by Granger. Granger's got your back when it comes to the safety and industrial support.
The
following is a special sports broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. Play ball! It's time for the fun and excitement of West Virginia high school baseball. Today's game is being brought to you by
Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, The Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, Bechtel Jewelers, WH Miller Systems, D&N Auto, The Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Suns, Haas's Steak and Sea, Bears Repair, The Final Score, and Atlantic Security.
And now for the pregame show. Let's go out to the field and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Eagle Field, home of Hedgesville Eagle Baseball, the site of tonight's EPAC and regional matchup as the Hedgesville Eagles play host to the Jefferson Cougars. For Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10, I'm Matt Miller along with Matt Crawford. Caleb Valero is our studio engineer. Well, Matt, a great matchup tonight. A pair of 13-game winners. Jefferson coming in at 13-2, winners of 9 of their last 10. Hedgesville coming in at 13-3. They've won 8 out of their last 10.
One of those 3 losses, however, came against this Jefferson Cougar team back earlier in the season. It was a 6-0 decision, which Hedgesville only was able to punch out 4 hits in that ball game, left 7 on, committed 4 errors in the field, and Jefferson played Cougar baseball. They capitalized on those mistakes and got a good effort from Zach Rose in his first start of the season. We saw Rose have a pretty good effort last night, but was the tough luck loser against Martinsburg. But it'll be a good matchup tonight, and one of the best pitching matchups probably across the entire Mountain State tonight in all classifications of high school. It's going to be Chase DeLauder, the reigning West Virginia Player of the Year, against Taylor Tennant, who is the ace on this Jefferson squad and one of the best pitchers across the entire state as well. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Talking 2 guys on the mound who are both 5-0, and for Chase DeLauder, an ERA at 1.18, for Taylor Tennant, an ERA at 0.86. That gives you an idea that runs may be hard to come by here tonight, and with that in mind, the Jefferson lineup very different than what we saw last night as we were over at P.O. Faulkner Park in Martinsburg. Got a 5-2 victory over Jefferson. That snapped a Cougars 9-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for Hedgesville, they were in action last night on the road against a regional opponent in Hampshire, and they came to life with the bats. Matt, 17 hits in putting 15 runs on the board in a 15-2 win.
That's a game you would expect Hedgesville to have against Hampshire. And looking back, when you mentioned the lineup looking a lot different tonight than it looked last night for Jefferson, Corey Daly bumps up into that leadoff spot. Colson Titus jumps up to the number 3 spot. He was batting at the bottom of the order last night, but did have a pretty good game, and including a single in his first at-bat back in the 3rd inning, and really just everything kind of scattered around, including Dalton Reed, who had a big pinch hit last night that was able to drive in a run, and Hayden Stank bumps down from where we've seen him pretty much the entire season in that leadoff spot. He's now batting in the number 6 spot. So Coach John Lowry Sr. changing things up a little bit, hoping for a different result, a bounce-back win from a tough one last night.
Well, there you go. That's our matchup tonight as the Hedgesville Eagles entertain the Jefferson Cougars. Jefferson on the field right now going through their infield warm-ups. Well, let's take a break on our pregame show, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone 304-350-1931 or go to WHMsystems.com. When we come back, we'll hear from both head coaches and get their thoughts on today's matchup. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
They are translated into one word, sportsmanship.
We are back once again here at Eagle Field. Time for us to hear from the head coaches going into this matchup. We'll get it started with the head coach of the Hedgesville Eagles. It is Eric Grove in his first year leading the program, and he has done very well as you look at the record at 13 wins and 3 losses, winners of 5 of their last 6, 8 of their last 10. Our conversation getting started as we talked about the 15-2 win last night over Hampshire.
Well, we've...
well, let's try again and see if we can get Eric Grove one more time.
Well,
I think we're playing relatively good.
All right, having some technical difficulties, and we will try one more time and make sure that we get Eric Grove as the Hedgesville head coach.
I don't think we're anywhere close where we want to be.
Sounds a little like Aaron Byler.
We really got a resilient group of guys. We got 3 soft.
All right, well, let's try one more time as I can't quite seem to get things to line up the way that they are supposed to on our recorder. So we will start all over again. We'll hear from head coach John Lowry Sr. as well. Well, that's him. So we'll get to his comments here shortly. Right now, I think we're about to hear from Eric Grove, head coach of Hedgesville.
I thought it was maybe our best game of the year. I know that Hampshire's been competitive with everybody, and we swung the bats really well late in the game. I was happy about that. Just the energy in the dugout, from the second we were there, I felt like we were all invested. And if we need that type of intensity tonight for sure and beyond, because I think when they hit, that was that extra gear I've been looking for, I think, and hopefully it carries over tonight.
So now the goal is to consistently do that.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we play a lot of games in a short period of time, so that means we got to be whatever it takes for us to hit that gear. I think the day off on Sunday really helped because we were really, really busy last week, and we played 5 games in 4 days the previous week. So I think the days off mixed in help because they're still kids and they like to do other things. And I think that if you take their mind off of it from time to time, it brings that focus back when we need it.
An earlier matchup with these Jefferson Cougars. The score maybe not indicative of how that one played out, a 6-0 win for the Cougars. What do you learn from that when they helped you out today?
Well, I know that one instance late in the game I got out coached on a slap hit up the middle, and just picking up on some of the intricacies that they do, and we just didn't hit the ball, and I know that we're going to face probably one of their best tonight, so it'll be a good test for us. I think that our bats are in a better place, and I'm excited for the chance that we have tonight. I feel like being at home helps, and I know they're coming off a loss, so they're going to be ready to go.
Having Chase DeLauder on the hill helps as well. Talk to us about what he brings to the mound.
Well, he commands the zone early and often. That's what we need him to do because most teams try and get his pitch count up. That's not a secret, but he can throw 3 or 4 pitches for a strike, and I hope that as we progress through the game, he just works through his pitches, but don't necessarily show your hand all at the beginning. It's a 7-inning game for a reason.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
There it was, finally a chance to hear from Eric Grove, first-year head coach for the Hedgesville Eagles. Matt, we look back to that 6-0 game down at Shenandoah Junction back on Wednesday, March 27th, and as you hear Coach Grove talk about it, 2 runs in that second inning for Jefferson coming with 2 outs. It was a walk that got it started, back-to-back errors, then an RBI single, and yet another error that ultimately plated a run, and then 4 runs in that 6th inning to put the game away, and even in that half half inning. While they did have 4 hits, Jefferson also took advantage of an error and a walk in that half inning as well. If Hedgesville can eliminate some of those mistakes, you got to like their chances tonight, especially with DeLauder on the hill.
Yeah, and you heard Coach Grove mention in that statement or in that interview about getting out coached in certain situations. That's going to happen. I mean, John Lowry Sr.'s only been around for 47 years. I guess it's a pretty long tenure as a coach, but it comes with playing this Jefferson team. You're going to have to play your best baseball because you make mistakes, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to make you pay for them.
Well, let's turn our attention to the Jefferson Cougars. A tough loss for them yesterday, 5-2 at Martinsburg. We start our conversation with head coach John Lowry Sr. with what he saw from his team in that game.
Well, the encouraging thing about last night, I thought we pitched well. 2 sophomores out there throwing. Rhodes deserved a better fate. And you try to emphasize to the guys the value of each pitch, and you never know what play might make the difference in the game. And there were 2 plays in that game that we didn't handle that were the difference. So that's the lesson to be learned from that. Plus, you got to give their kid credit. He pitched well. Balls we hit a lot of balls in the air. Their outfielders made several nice catches going back. It was a good high school game. This time we came up on the short end of it.
I look at your lineup today compared to yesterday, and you have moved some guys around. Just trying to get something sparked there?
Well, yeah. I mean, plain and simple, yeah. I just feel like, we need to establish something offensively with some continuity that it's kind of been lacking. And, I looked at on-base percentages and guys with their strikeouts versus plate appearances and things of that nature. And, we're trying to see if we can establish some continuity offensively. For a high school, we only made 1 error last night. I mean, even on the ball we dropped at first base, you got to give the guy a stolen base on that because, you can't assume that we'd have got him out in second. But the point is we make 1 error, we strike out 10 guys, and we only walk 2 or 3. That's good for high school baseball. We got to score more than 2 runs, and we don't score the 2 runs if they don't make a mistake on the ball they throw in the right field. So I guess that's the nature of the game. It's all the routine plays are made. It's hard to score. They say it's not a game you win, it's a game you beat yourself, and certainly that would apply to us last night.
Talk to us about this matchup. You saw this Hedgesville team earlier in the season and came away with a victory. What do you take from that one?
Well, they're the real deal. I mean, you can look at what they've done. They score a lot of runs. They're veteran. They have a senior-laden lineup. I'm sure that they've been pointing toward this season. They got the player of the year in the state. They're playing on their home field. They're really a good team, and it's going to be a challenge for us tonight.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, there you hear from Jefferson head coach John Lowry Sr., and yeah, it's going to be a challenge for both of these teams tonight as we've got a great pitching matchup. 2 teams that combined are 26-5 each with 13 victories. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and it's teams that are going to play different types of baseball. This is a Hedgesville team that is going to try to hit it all over the ballpark and hit it over the fence. They've 14 home runs on this starting 9 so far this year. And when you look at the Jefferson lineup, just 5, and those come between 2 players, 3 from Cullen Horowitz and 2 from Stevie Lee. So this is going to be a Jefferson team that's going to try to play station-to-station baseball, find the gaps, work the hit and run, get into scoring position with stolen bases, lay some bunts down. So you're going to see a contrast of styles, I believe, tonight. But the one thing that's going to remain common is, again, you're seeing one heck of a pitching duel tonight between Chase DeLauder and Taylor Tennant, or at least what we expect is going to be one heck of a pitching duel.
All right, let's send it back to the studio, take one more timeout, and then we will return to wrap up our pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. You can find them online at WHMsystems.com or phone 304-350-1931, providing custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
To prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
We are back once again here at Eagle Field, where the Hedgesville Eagles entertain the Jefferson Cougars in high school baseball tonight. Matt, Hedgesville has won 2 of the last 3 in this series, taking both games that the teams played last year, falling earlier this year by a 6-0 score. But when you break it out over a longer period of time since 2015, Jefferson has won 7 of the last 9 in this matchup. We'll see how this one plays out tonight, since we've got 2 teams that very well could see one another in a best-of-3 series for the regional championship in the postseason.
Oh, absolutely. These are my 2 teams at the beginning of the season, and I said that I predicted were probably going to be the 2 teams representing each section in that regional championship. And looking at both these teams and how they fared so far this year, you mentioned it a couple times, 13 wins apiece for both these teams. Jefferson just 1 fewer loss than Hedgesville with 2, with the Eagles having 3, and I think they've primed themselves as the 2 teams that are atop this region. So one of these teams, I believe, is going to be the one going to Charleston at the end of the year.
The grounds crew is getting the field together. I say grounds crew. That means assistant coaches.
So you're in high school ball. Yeah. It's just the assistant coaches getting it ready.
Yeah, working hard to get everything together as the head coaches exchange lineup cards and go over the field dimensions and the rules here at Eagle Field with our 2-man umpiring crew. And as they do that, we'll jump into today's starting lineups. They're brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Get it fixed right the first time at D&N Auto. Family owned and operated since 1974. They specialize in exhaust alignments and tires. Set up your appointment by phoning 304-267-4078. Now, the Jefferson Cougars, the visitors, they'll bat first, led by 47th-year head coach John Lowry Sr., assisted on the varsity level by J.P. Jones, Ken Cross, Chuck Hamilton, and Mark Rotruck. For the Cougars, shortstop Corey Daly is in the leadoff spot. He's followed by the starting pitcher Taylor Tennant. Hitting third is the catcher Colson Titus. In the cleanup spot at third base, Cullen Horowitz. The number 5 hitter is center fielder Stevie Lee. Batting sixth and playing left field, Hayden Stang. The number 7 hitter is today's designated hitter Dalton Reed. He's batting for starting second baseman Chase Anderson. In the number 8 spot for Jefferson, it's first baseman Zach Rose. And the number 9 hitter plays right field. That's Mason Lance. So again, that's Daly, Tennant, and Titus, followed by Horowitz, Lee, and Stang. Reed, Rose, and Lance round out the batting order, with Anderson playing second base. Now to the homestanding Hedgesville Eagles. They're led by first-year head coach Eric Grove, assisted by Nikki Brown, Derek Snyder, Mike Quinn, Levi Marty, Brian Mosley, and JV head coach Scott Budka. For the Hedgesville Eagles, third baseman Josh Rush is in the leadoff spot. He's followed by the pitcher Chase DeLauder. Batting third in center field, Hunter Coe. The cleanup hitter is the shortstop, Kyle West. Batting fifth at first base, Jamison Matthew. The number 6 hitter is today's catcher, Brady Weaver. Batting seventh, designated hitter Ty Snyder. He'll bat in the spot of today's starting left fielder, J.R. Luttrell. The number 8 hitter playing second base is Tyler Bubb, and batting ninth, right fielder Caleb Brown. So again, Rush, DeLauder, and Coe, followed by West, Matthew, and Weaver. Snyder, Bubb, and Brown round out the batting order, with Luttrell in left field. Starting lineups brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Hey, get it fixed right the first time at D&N Auto. They specialize in exhaust alignments and tires, family owned and operated since 1974. Set up your appointment by phoning 304-267-4078. Jefferson lineup being introduced to the crowd on hand here. They are located in the dugout off the third base side. They come out in the gray baseball pants, the maroon jersey tops, gold lettering and trim. Jefferson across the front of those jersey tops, the maroon caps with the Jefferson logo on the front of those caps. Now as the music starts, the starting lineup for Hedgesville being introduced. Those players will make their way out onto the field, typically lining up 3 along the back slope of the mound, 3 out around the second base bag, and 3 in straightaway center field as we get ready for the national anthem. And coming out of the dugout off the first base side, Hedgesville wearing the white baseball pants and jersey tops, dark blue lettering with numerals on the backs of their jerseys and the kind of old school H across the front left chest of the jersey. They'll wear the blue caps, looks like almost a silver as opposed to a straight white bill with the Hedgesville logo on the front of those caps. Got a pretty good breeze blowing out to right field as we look at the flag. Here in the press box, you can't really feel it because it looks like it's virtually coming behind us and then working out.
It's okay with me that we don't have to deal with the wind for one night.
Yes.
We deal with it enough. And being down at Spring Mills tomorrow, which is going to be our game tomorrow, I'm also at Spring Mills. That's usually a wind tunnel for us anyway, so I'm all right with not dealing with the wind tonight.
Yeah, but
the shadows are going to be a little bit of an issue for the first couple of innings, or at least the first inning, depending on how quickly it goes. Right now, the sun still shining in center field, coming right over our press box location. As you can see, Hunter Coe standing out in center field with the hand over his head, trying to shade that sun, looking back towards the dugout. And that's going to be a little bit of an issue in center field. It's the shade over the infield already. Second base may have a little bit of an issue with that. And if you hit one to deep right field, still could have some shadow and sun issues. But other than that, by the second inning, the field should be covered by the sun coming down.
All right, as we pause here for the national anthem, we take our final break, and then we're back with today's high school baseball action.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. It certainly has helped take us to another level.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
We welcome you back into Eagle Field. Matt Miller, Matt Crawford with you. Caleb Falero, our engineer at the studio for WRNR and TV10 coverage of high school baseball on this Tuesday night. Towing the pitching rubber and going through his warm-up tosses, Chase DeLauder. The real deal on the hill, as we heard earlier from head coach Eric Grove. He's got 4 different pitches that he throws well and throws for strikes.
Yeah, through 23 2/3 inning on the mound this year, a 1.183 ERA, and that's the higher ERA of the two starting pitchers we're seeing tonight. Not too often that over 20 innings into the season, your 1.18 ERA is going to be the higher of the two between the two starters. But unfortunately, DeLauder's going to be, and not unfortunately, he's just going to happen to have that number tonight. A 5-0 record, giving up 18 hits on the season, 6 runs. 4 of those runs are on him as earned runs. 44 strikeouts on the season, just 7 walks in this his 7th start of this season.
You think 23 2/3 innings and 44 strikeouts, almost 2 strikeouts an inning. Defense has to stay on their toes because the ball's not coming their way a lot, so you got to be ready whenever it does. Today's opening pitch on the way as Corey Daly stands in the right-hand batter's box, takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Today's opening pitch brought to you by the Mortgage Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, where Mark and Cheryl Savitt treat you like family. Next delivery, a fastball that misses away. 1-1 the counts. They have personal one-on-one service. They'll walk you from application to settlement with low interest rates and closing costs. Hey, don't let somebody throw you a curve when it comes to your mortgage. Contact the Mortgage Center, 304-267-9040, online at the mortgagefinancing.com. A swing and a miss at the 1-1. Count to Daly, a ball and 2 strikes in the 1-2 delivery. Wow, a fastball right down the middle, and Daly watches it go by for strike 3.
And nothing fancy there for Chase DeLauder in the first batter he saw on Corey Daly. 4 fastballs, 3 of which were strikes. The second one, a little bit of a two-seam action, a little bit of movement on it at the end, and got in there for strike 3.
So it'll bring to the plate Taylor Tennant, the senior opposing pitcher, batting in the number 2 spot in the order, while yesterday was batting down at the number 6 spot, and he'll take a called strike 1. Tennant with 10 hits in 28 at-bats. That's a .357 average. No homers, 9 driven in. Fouls this fastball to the backstop, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
You could tell that fastball has some zip on it. Taylor Tennant fouled that one back, and you could just hear the crack of the brick backstop here at the nest and at Eagle Field. And ball's coming in fast, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. The left-hander works from the third base side of the pitching rubber. Comes back with another fastball missing just away, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, we got Daly looking at a 1-2 pitch. Let's see what happens as Tennant will dig back in. Somewhat crowds the plate near the back of the right-hand batter's box. There's the off-speed pitch. Tennant lays back and fouls it off into the screen just to the right of the home plate area. Counts holding it 1-2.
And that's so tough for a high school player to do. And you've seen nothing but fastballs and done nothing but timed up fastballs at that speed that DeLauder's coming down at. To wait back on a off-speed pitch is impressive.
Now the 1-2 pitch, did he go around? Yes, he did. Tennant tried to hold up on that high fastball, but he did go through the zone, and that is back-to-back strikeouts for DeLauder to get this game started.
Again, the fastball is working. Throwing it with high velocity as we expected. Haven't seen too much off-speed stuff, but the movement on the two-seam from what we've seen is extremely good for a player at this level.
It'll bring up Colson Titus, and the first pitch to him is a fastball for strike 1. Well, DeLauder has started each of the first 3 hitters with a fastball for a strike. Has retired the first 2 on strikeouts on 1-2 pitches. Tries a breaking pitch here that bounces out in front of the plate and through to the backstop. Count 1-1.
I think it was something with his follow-through. It just didn't land cleanly as he fixes a little bit of dirt on the front of the mound, which is about where that landing point is. So I'm sure the landing point's just a little bit off from where he wanted it.
Well, Titus too late on that 1-1 fastball again. Working to the outside part of the plate to the right-hand batter, a swing and a miss, and now that 1-2 on the way. Right down the middle, it's a fastball for strike 3.
Well, nothing fancy about this inning for Chase DeLauder. Just went after the Jefferson top 3 with the fastball and got them all on strikes. 2 looking, 1 swing, a quick 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the first.
There you go. We have played a half an inning. It's Jefferson nothing. Stay tuned. Hedgesville is coming to bats.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here. and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
No score as we go to the bottom half of inning number 1. Time for our first inning, first look forecast. Sunny skies prevailing with our game time temperature right around 71 degrees. It doesn't get any better than this for an evening in April. Overnight tonight, look for a low around 47. Tomorrow, not quite as warm, partly sunny and 65. Tomorrow night's low 43. Clouds roll in for Thursday with a high of 66. Thursday night, that low around 53, and then rain is in the forecast coming up on Friday. That is your first inning, first look forecast.
Taylor Tennant on the bump for Jefferson, a 5-0 record. He's tossed 24 1/3 on the season so far, a sub-1 ERA at a .863 rather. 20 hits allowed, 10 runs have come across while he's been on the mound, but only 3 of those have been earned runs. So the defense has not been sharp with Tennant on the mound. 31 strikeouts to 10 walks in this, his 7th start.
Yeah, the numbers so close for these two pitchers. Both are pitching in their 7th game. Both are making their 5th start. Both come in at 5-0. Both with very minuscule earned run averages. Both giving up right around the same hit total. Just 2 more hits allowed by Tennant than allowed by DeLauder. DeLauder about 13 more strikeouts, a little more of that power pitcher than Tennant, but the numbers very similar. Josh Rush, the junior third baseman, to get it started for Hedgesville. He takes a fastball for strike 1.
Rush in that leadoff spot, a .368 hitter. Has hit 1 out of the park and has driven in 12 on the year.
Swings and bounces this one right back past the pitcher. The shortstop over to his left, charging. Daly has it in front of the second base bag, makes that throw to first, but not in time. Josh Rush able to leg it out for an infield base hit.
And Daly did a good job of charging in from that shortstop position, playing deep at short, was able to charge the chopping ball that just got by the outstretched arm of Taylor Tennant on the mound. It was going to be a tough play to make as Rush has good speed going up that first base line. Then Corey Daly got it in the gut and kind of hesitated a minute, double clutched a little bit to get that baseball. So now a runner on first to lead off Josh Rush.
Well, the batter at the plate is Chase DeLauder, and he fouls one. Back to the screen just to the left of our broadcast position. And the count 0-1, and DeLauder as a left-hand hitter has that hole to hit through as Zach Rose will hold on Rush. And the second baseman, Chase Anderson, shaded up the middle. Here's a fastball off the outside part of the plate. Count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. How about the numbers for DeLauder? 28 hits in 49 at-bats. That's a .571 average. He swings and fouls this fastball back into the netting again, just to the left of our position. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 5 homers, 24 driven in. Hey, add in 13 base on balls, and DeLauder's on-base percentage, .667. Almost 7 times out of 10, he's finding his way on base.
2 out of every 3 he's getting on.
Here's a toss over, sending Rush back in on the dive at first base. Nobody out with that runner at first. No score, bottom of inning number 1. DeLauder will await the 1-2 delivery. Tennant from the stretch comes set and again turns and makes that throw to first. Rose not even trying to apply a tag as Rush was back in again with that head first dive. DeLauder with that open stance in the left-hand batter's box will have to be patient as again there's a throw to first. This time Rose slaps that tag down, but again Rush gets the hand back in. Tennant ready, and the pitch to the plate, and that fastball sails high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. By the way, a 2-man umpiring crew, as we mentioned earlier. Neil Ryman-Schneider is behind the plate calling balls and strikes with Brian Collins on the bases. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch due. Instead, another toss over to first. As Tennant doing everything that he can to try to cut down on that lead for Rush. Got to focus on DeLauder, though, too. He is a tough out at the plate. Now that 2-2 on the way, off speed, lifted in the air, down the left field line, into foul territory. A long run for everyone, and no one will get there. That one hitting up against the warning track. Hayden Stang, the left fielder, coming in. Corey Daly, the shortstop, going out. Cullen Horowitz, the third baseman, headed out there as well, but had no chance to get to it, and the count holds 2-2. Nice at bat for DeLauder, making Tennant work. Sixth pitch of the at bat coming. Rush with his lead at first after reaching on the leadoff infield single. Another throw over, and that was a close play.
Closest one yet, and Rush getting a pretty good lead for his size over at first base. Has gotten about a half step more each time they've thrown over.
Again, he stretches out that lead as the pitch to the plate is bounced towards the shortstop. Backing up on it is Daly. He'll go to second for one, and the relay throw to first. Nice job, Zach Rose, coming off the bag as the first baseman heading out towards right field, able to play it on a bounce and keep it on the infield, holding DeLauder at first base as he will reach on the fielder's choice. Josh Rush is erased at second base.
And that's a hard chopper to Corey Daly. He did a very good job of getting the baseball into his chest and at least getting the lead runner. Obviously, he'd like to turn two there. That's a tough play on a hard chopper to shortstop.
It'll bring up Hunter Coe, number 3 spot in the order. Today's starting center fielder lifts one in the air down the right field line, ranging over his lance, and he cannot make the play, and it ends up being a fair ball. That one hit on the warning track right in front of the fair foul pole, and it is a fair ball as ruled by our plate umpire, Neil Rymenschneider, and that's going to end up being a double. DeLauder had to really wait and see whether that ball was going to be caught and couldn't quite get the jump he would like to. Otherwise, he would have scored. So DeLauder goes from first to third, and Coe will be at second with a double.
I'm not sure that Mason Lance realized where he was in the field because he just kind of camped underneath the foul pole, and the ball looked like it dropped right behind him. So I don't know whether he assumed he was right on the fence and that ball was going to go over, but it seemed like he was pretty well set to make that catch, and the ball just bounced right behind him.
It brings to the plate Kyle West with 2 in scoring position, and the first pitch to him, a breaking pitch in the dirt, low and inside for ball 1. Well, I think there's a case of that wind that we were talking about earlier. As you look at the flag over top of the scoreboard in right field, and a flag that's even higher up behind the Little League field off to the right field side. And both of those flags are going straight out towards right. I think it maybe carried that ball a little more, which caused Lance not to track it cleanly. West fouls the 1-0 to the backstop. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. So 2 hits and a fielder's choice. 1 out, no score, but 2 in scoring position. Tennant to the plate with a pitch down low, and it's 2-1 now to West. The sophomore shortstop has a .396 average. That's 19 hits in 43 at-bats. 3 homers, 28 driven in, an on-base percentage of .576 as he's drawn 10 base on balls. Watches this pitch work outside for ball 3. And he is a pitch away from drawing his 11th walk of the year.
1 base open, so a walk wouldn't necessarily hurt at the moment, but you don't want to load the bases with just 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning, and that's just what happens as the 3-1 misses low, so Kyle West reaches on a base on balls.
11th walk allowed this season by Tennant against the 31 strikeouts that he had coming in. And now he'll have to work with the bases loaded. DeLauder at third, Coe at second. West is aboard at first. The batter to the plate, Jamison Matthew, the number 5 hitter in the order. Today's starting first baseman. The junior hitting .362, 17 hits in 47 at-bats. Takes a fastball down low and outside for ball 1.
Corners playing in now for Jefferson. Middle in the field playing back at double play depth. So expect the corners to come home as now force at any base with the bases loaded.
Tennant taking a big deep breath on the mound and now ready to go with that 1-0 pitch. Here it comes, fouled out of play off the first base side. Now 1-1 to Matthew, who also has a home run and 14 driven in on the season. This is a Hedgesville team coming off a 17-hit effort yesterday in a 15-2 win at Hampshire. Looking to keep that going with a couple of hits, a fielder's choice, and a walk so far in this bottom of the first. The bases loaded. No score with one away as Matthew takes high, and it's 2-1.
See if Jameson Matthew tries to sit on one and send it to right center. A big gap is Mason Lance playing closer to the line than you usually would against a right-handed batter, so a big gap in right center.
The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and a good fastball. That one on the inside part of the plate, and the count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Matthew just didn't keep his head in right there. The front foot stepped out a little bit, and his head followed, looking right down the third base line by the time he came through that swing.
Tennant now ready with the break even. Here it comes, in on his hands, popped foul. Back out of play over the press box, and it holds at 2-2. Time taken as Colson Titus goes out for a quick word with Taylor Tennant. So the catcher and the pitcher getting together, making sure that they're on the same page with what they want to throw in this 2-2 situation to Matthew. Well, you got to like that. Titus just a sophomore, but really taking charge out there as the catcher, working with the senior pitcher. The runners will stretch out their leads. Again, the infield plays in at the corners. One down with the bases loaded. Here's that 2-2 pitch, and the off-speed is on the inside corner for a called strike 3.
That is a big strikeout on a great pitch, a moving right coming in at Jameson Matthew, then cutting back in on the inside, a part of the plate. That's a big strikeout because now a play at any base to end the inning. So a ground ball to any position on the infield is now a pinch runner. Ryan Fry going to third base for Chase DeLauder. But that was a huge strikeout for Taylor Tennant.
So Fry serving as the courtesy runner in this situation for the pitcher DeLauder, meaning Fry could still come in at any other juncture in this ball game as a pinch hitter and or defensively. Courtesy runners are allowed to be used for pitchers and catchers. Swinging at the first pitch, hitting a ground ball is Brady Weaver, knocked down by the third baseman Horowitz as it goes off his glove, and then in behind the shortstop Corey Daly, who was moving to his right. Daly goes back to retrieve it and holds everyone to one base. That means Fry is able to come home and score from third to give Hedgesville the 1-0 lead. The bases remain loaded.
It was a ball hit a little bit to the left of Cullen Horowitz. Still had a very good play at it. It's going to go down as an E5 in our scorebook. It just went off the palm of his glove, had to go to a knee. Instead of just taking a little step to his left, decided to drop to a knee and try to jab at it and kind of pick at it, and would have had a pretty easy play at third base to just step on the bag, but unfortunately it bounces away from Corey Daly. Luckily just one run scoring there for Jefferson, but Hedgesville does get the first run of the game.
Here's a swing and a ground ball towards the shortstop. Daly in on it, makes the throw on the run after catching it on that in-between awkward hop. He makes that throw to first in time to retire Ty Snyder. And that will set down the Hedgesville Eagles, but they do play to run in their first at-bats on a couple of hits, a walk, a fielder's choice, and an error. We will go to inning number 2 when we come back with Hedgesville leading Jefferson 1-0.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
1-0 Hedgesville leading Jefferson as the Cougars will bat in the top of the second inning. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Cullen Horowitz, Stevie Lee, and Hayden Stang to face Chase DeLauder. The Hedgesville starter threw 13 pitches, 10 for strikes, as he struck out the side in the first. Horowitz, good size in that right-hand batter's box, and the sophomore takes a fastball at the knees for strike one.
Horowitz, a .357 hitter. The power guy in this lineup, 3 home runs, has driven in 9.
He'll take this fastball on the inside corner for a called strike 2. And DeLauder is really pounding the zone.
And again, it looks like that two-seam just got that little bit of bite in it at the end. Just breaking in towards a right-handed batter a little bit right at the end.
Swing and a miss at the 0-2 pitch. Horowitz strikes out on just 3 pitches. And of 4 strikeouts now for DeLauder, their equal opportunity. 2 have been looking, and now 2 have been swinging.
4 batters, 4 been set down on strikes. DeLauder is starting this game very, very strong.
48 strikeouts now on the year for DeLauder. It'll bring up Stevie Lee, the left-hand batter. Takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Lee, a junior, starting center fielder. Very good speed coming out of that left-hand batter's box. He'll await the next pitch. Here it comes, out in front of the curveball, and the count quickly 0-2.
That's what makes DeLauder so hard to hit, is that fastball. You got to time up, and then he can come back with 3 other pitches that he can throw for quality.
0-2 delivery on the way, and he comes back with that breaking pitch. A swing and a miss. May have ticked it, but it's held onto by Brady Weaver. Looked like the indication from our plate umpire Neil Reimenschneider may have been a little contact, but either way, Stevie Lee goes down on strikes.
And Stevie Lee not expecting that pitch at all, and I think was probably expecting a fastball from the reaction that he had at the plate, and really just chasing that pitch out of the zone would have been ball 1.
It'll bring up Hayden Stang. The first fastball to him right down the middle for a strike. Stang, the junior left fielder, out of the number 6 spot in the order. Looks at this fastball away for ball 1, 1-1.
Thought we could be on our way to an immaculate inning the way this was going.
Now that 1-1 just down low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, retired the first 2 on strikeouts on 6 pitches. The immaculate inning is when you then get the 3rd strikeout on just 3 more. 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. Not going to happen in this half inning, but on that 2-1 pitch, there's a breaking pitch on the inside corner to the left-hand hitting Stang, and it's 2-2. Stang hitting .295. That's 13 hits, 44 at-bats, no homers, 4 driven in. He'll bounce this 2-2 pitch foul along the third base side. We'll do it again. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 2nd inning. Hedgesville with a 1-0 lead. The left-hander ready. DeLauder to the plate. Swing and a miss at the low fastball. Weaver able to keep it from getting to the dirt, and Stang will head back to the dugout and grab his glove and head back to left field. What a start for Chase DeLauder, as he has struck out the side in each of Jefferson's first 2 at-bats. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd when we return to Eagle Field, with Hedgesville leading Jefferson 1-0.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I'm beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
It's a 1-0 lead for the Hedgesville Eagles as they prepare to hit in the home half of inning number 2. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Tyler Bubb to get it started, then Caleb Brown back to the top of the order, and Josh Rush They'll face Taylor Tennant, who needed 22 pitches, 14 for strikes to get out of that first inning. And Matt was fortunate, really, to give up only one run as he pitched a lot of that inning with the bases loaded.
He was fortunate to only give up one run, but at the same time could have got out of that inning if it wasn't for an error at third base. Could have got out of that inning without giving up any runs.
Tyler Bubb, the batter and the right-hand hitter, looks at a fastball for strike one. Bubb, the senior second baseman. One of 5 seniors in the starting lineup, 4 juniors, 1 sophomore in the 10-man lineup for Hedgesville. Bubb fouls the 0-1 straight through to the backstop. 0-2 the counts. Bubb 8 of 23 on the season. That's a .348 average. No homer, 6 driven in, but has also drawn 6 walks for a .500 on-base percentage. He swings, lifts this one into the air into right field, making a hard charge, and diving for it is Lance, and he's unable to come up with it, and may have injured himself as he made that diving attempt, as he is clearly in some pain rolling around out in right center field. Oh, boy, Mason Lance made a great effort to try to get to that one, but may have injured his wrist.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. The glove came off of that left hand, so I think he may have awkwardly come down on that left hand and lost the glove. And yeah, certainly looking like from our angle could be a wrist injury, as a couple assistant coaches quickly running out to right field. In the second night, we've seen a injury, or what could look like a bad injury for this Jefferson team. It was second baseman Dylan McCartney last night, who we thought could have had a pretty bad injury. He was able to stay in the game, but in a lot of pain is Mason Lance in right field, as he does get to his feet, but you tell rolling around in right field in a lot of pain.
Looks like he is going to try to stay in the game, as he is talking with one of the assistant coaches, kind of taking a look at that wrist and hand. It's a tremendous effort. I've got to be honest, from our vantage point, it's really hard to tell whether he would have been able to hang on to that for an out or whether that ball skipped off the grass into his mitt. From our distance, I don't know if he made the catch or really would have short-hopped it, as that one was sinking quickly.
If it short-hopped, it was a very short hop and hit right in front of his glove. I think he got there at just about the same time the ball did. But again, the glove came off, and I think the ball just came out of the glove with it. And it looks like Lance is going to stay in right. So very surprised with the way he went down and was rolling around in right field and looked to be in some excruciating pain. Very surprised he's staying in right, but
so thankfully,
good competitor in right field.
Just the initial shock, maybe, and that quick jolt of pain, and now feeling a little better. He'll stay in as Tyler Bubb stretches out his lead at first, reaching on the leadoff base hit. Caleb Brown to the plate, tries to lay down a bunt, but pushes it foul off the third base side over towards the on-deck circle for Jefferson.
Trying to push a bunt on the third base line, a delayed bunt, as he came around late trying to catch Colin Horwitz sleeping at third base. Horwitz playing inside the bag. Now expecting possibly a bunt again from Brown.
Yeah, step in on the grass and coming in as there is that bunt attempt again. This one popped up foul along the third base side. It gets over to the netting and in fact got out of play, and it's 0-2. So the junior right fielder out of the number 9 spot has to try to advance Bubb to second. Did not get it done with the first 2 pitches. Let's see if he'll be swinging away here. Try to bunt, and bunt foul for a third strike would go down as a strikeout. Quick toss over as Tennant looking to keep Bubb close. Zach Rose, the first baseman, holds him on. The sun's setting, no shadows any longer. The light's on, but really won't begin to take effect for a little bit of time. 1-1 pitch. That off speed stays just high. Pardon me, that was an 0-2, so it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch misses. And now it's 1-2 as Brown steps back in. 10 of 23, a .435 average. No homers, 4 driven in. Can't catch up with that fastball on the outside part of the plate. A swing and a miss for out number 1.
And now a big out because a double play is now an option again to get out of the inning as we're back at the top of the order. Josh Rush, who had a single in the leadoff at-bat for Hedgesville.
Yeah, Rush with that infield base hit, that bouncer that went by Tennant on the mound. And Corey Daly had to scoop it up in front of the second base bag and just couldn't get it to first in time to get the speedy Rush. First pitch of this at bat snaps across the inside corner for strike one.
Good breaking pitch. Again, going right at Rush, then breaking in across the plate.
Short lead for the runner, Bub, at first as the next pitch is bounced off the plate and then in behind the home plate area towards the backstop for strike two. So a nice job by Tennant getting ahead of the hitters here in this second inning after falling behind a couple of hitters, including giving up a walk in that first inning. Rush will await that 0-2 pitch. Tennant to the plate, and that off-speed is bounced foul third base side. Rush out of 58 at-bats on the season with just 9 strikeouts. Has also drawn 5 base on balls, so a .438 on-base percentage. 1-0 Hedgesville. The Eagles bat bottom of the second. A runner at first with one away. Rush awaiting the 0-2 pitch. Taylor Tennant to the plate. Fastball popped foul and out of play off the first base side, and we'll do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, Rush chasing one out of the zone, but with 2 strikes, anything you think's close, you got to protect, and that's just what he did.
Chase DeLauder waiting in the on-deck circle. It makes this a big out. Tennant ready, and the pitch, swing and a miss. Rush out in front and swinging right over top of that one that broke down and away from the right-hand batter.
So Tennant settling down a little bit so far here in this second inning.
A pair of strikeouts gives him 3 on the game. Still a runner at first after that leadoff base hit, and now it brings up Chase DeLauder. DeLauder reached on a 6-4 fielder's choice his first time up, and then gave way to the courtesy runner Ryan Fry, who scored the only run so far. First pitch, high and away, ball 1. The left-hand batter again with that hole to hit through as Bub stretches out his lead, and Rose holds him on at first. Here's the pitch. Fouled to the backstop just to the left of our position. It's deja vu all over again. He did that in his first at-bat. DeLauder stepping back in, stands near the back of that left-hand batter's box. That open stance with a front foot shaded down that first base line, and then looks to stride into the pitch and fouls this 1-1 out of play down the left field line.
And he is mad about that one. He saw something he liked in that pitch. Takes both hands, put them on each end of the bat after that foul down the left field line, and took a couple of deep breaths, and he wants that pitch back.
And I'm sure Tennant took note and said, don't throw that pitch again. Now that 1-2 delivery, and the fastball stays high, and it's 2-2. Yeah, DeLauder's so deadly because of that eye at the plate. 28 hits and 13 walks. He is tough to strike out. Only 3 strikeouts in now 50 at-bats on the season. Here comes that 2-2 pitch, and it's a sharply hit ball into right field. That one ripping past the runner and the first baseman. Bub will make his turn and head to third, and there'll be runners at the corners with 2 outs after the solid single for Chase DeLauder.
And you mentioned in the first inning with that left-handed batter DeLauder at the plate, there's a gap, there's a hole between second and first base. Zach Rose was playing his defensive position where you play a lefty, just a few steps off the bag after holding that runner on, and he being DeLauder just roped one into the hole.
So Fry will again come in and serve as the courtesy runner at first base with 2 outs in the inning. Runners at the corners for Hunter Coe, who doubled deep into the right field corner his first time up, and he takes that off-speed pitch for strike 1. Nice pitch. You got to figure Coe's looking fastball, and Tennant started him with that curve that started inside and broke in across the plate. Now the 0-1. Here it comes. And that one again, a bit of a breaking pitch for a called strike 2.
Working different locations now. First one was inside that one. Starting over the heart of the plate and breaking onto the outer edge.
Now Coe will have to protect with the count no balls and 2 strikes. Tennant from the stretch lifts the leg and the pitch. Good fastball swing and a miss, and Coe goes down on strikes. And how do you like that? Taylor Tennant ends up striking out the side.
A little bit of trouble again, but he's able to get out of it, like you said, striking out the side, and a good job in his last batter faced against Hunter Coe, starting with 2 breaking balls and overpowering him with the fastball to close out the at-bat.
So 2 innings now in the books, and we've got the pitcher's duel that we were expecting heading to the 3rd when we come back with Hedgesville leading Jefferson 1-0.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
We head to the top of the 3rd. Jefferson with the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due. Chase DeLauder threw 2 innings, 25 pitches, 24 strikes, and has struck out the first 6 batters he has faced. Dalton Reed, today's designated hitter, takes a fastball outside for ball 1. The right-hand hitter came in last night, had a big pinch hit to drive home a run in the starting lineup tonight. Late on that fastball as he fouls it off the netting over towards the first base dugout. That's where Hedgesville is located. Count now 1-1. DeLauder works from the third base side of that pitching rubber. Misses down and in with this one. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. DeLauder has worked well in this one, pitching ahead of hitters. Falling behind here, comes back with a fastball that's fouled back. And the count now 2-2.
Reed, a little bit different of approach than we've seen through the previous 6 batters. He's not waiting on a pitch. When he sees one in the strike zone, he's taking a hack.
He's choking up on the bat a bit, swinging at this 2-2, pops it up in behind the plate. Will there be room? No. You may have heard it as it hit on the roof of the press box. Brady Weaver gave it a look, but the park would not hold it, and the count holds 2-2.
I need to take this roof off. I could have made that play.
I was going to say, it was pretty close to where you're at. DeLauder again ready. Here's that 2-2 pitch. And that one misses inside and goes all the way through to the backstop. Brady Weaver couldn't even get a glove on it. And this is the first batter in which DeLauder has gone to a 3-ball count. He went to a 2-ball count to Stang before striking him out to end the second. And now has gone to a full count against Reed to start the 3rd. And this pitch up and away, that is ball 4. And just the 8th walk allowed this season by Chase DeLauder in what would now be 25 2/3 innings.
So the designated hitter turning into the designated walker today, and Dalton Reed, and he's the first base runner for this Jefferson Cougar team.
That is just his 2nd walk this season. 8 for 15 coming in with a .533 average, and then that 1 base on balls. And the first pitch to the left-handed hitting Zach Rose down low for a ball. Rose, a sophomore, in the number 8 spot in the order today. 12 hits in 43 at-bats, a .279 average. Toss over, and did they pick him off? Yes, they did. Dalton Reed frozen for just a moment as DeLauder made the toss over. Jamison Matthew with the catch and easily able to apply the tag.
There was a case where Chase DeLauder picked the leg up, didn't go forward, just kind of held it there for a moment, and Dalton Reed went to get his secondary lead. The left-handed pitcher, you got to wait till he goes to the plate before you get that secondary lead.
Now that 1-0 curveball finds the outside corner. Count evens 1-1 to Zach Rose. Yeah, that didn't even look like the A move, as DeLauder really didn't put a lot on that throw to first, but just had Reed straying too far away from the bag. A swing and a foul right at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Rose.
You see a couple of different coaches talking to Dalton Reed in the dugout. That's one of the first things you learn against left-handed pitchers is when you're standing on first base, you got to make sure he's going forward before that secondary lead is taken.
Now the 1-2 pitch, a fastball outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, this is the third inning, our trivia inning, brought to you by the Hagerstown Suns and Haas's Steak and Sea in the Aikens Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Off-speed pitch looped over the head of the first baseman and dropping down the right field line for a hit. Caleb Brown moves over to get it in quickly, and Zach Rose has the first hit for Jefferson.
Yeah, did a good job of waiting on the off-speed pitch and pulling that one over the first baseman's head, Jameson Matthew, and looping one into shallow right field.
Now, how big is the pickoff? You could have runners at first and second, maybe even first and third. Instead, a runner at first with one out for Mason Lance. Good to see him still out there after banging up his wrist or hand trying to make a diving catch in the last half inning. Lance fouls the first pitch back out of play for strike one. Hey, by the way, before we get into our trivia question, a reminder that Haas's Steak and Sea on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg has great meals at great prices. Haas's, where your family wants to eat. Pitch low and outside, 1-1 now the count. Here in this third inning, we'll present a trivia question. First to call and get through to Caleb Falero at the studio with the correct answer, picking up 4 tickets to a Hagerstown Suns minor league baseball game, along with $30 in gift certificates to Haas's Steak and Sea. Well, we got another pickoff at first base as Rose gets it picked off. Nice job by Jameson Matthew to be able to apply the tag as Rose was kind of stumbling back in.
2 pickoffs at first in 1 inning.
Yeah, you don't see that often. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. Now at 1-2. We'll hold our trivia question for the bottom of the third. The 1-2 on the way. There's the off-speed pitch, a swing and a miss. That one ends up in the dirt. And scooping that one up is Brady Weaver. He steps into foul territory, but his throw to first is down low. Jameson Matthew didn't handle it cleanly, and Lance, despite the strikeout, is safe at first.
They're going to reach on that E3 as ball a little low, but not in the dirt. Definitely a play that Jameson Matthew should have come up with.
So it puts a runner at first base. That is now 7 strikeouts for DeLauder.
And Mason Lance, I think, is going to come out of this ball game as being escorted by the first base coach from Jefferson. Apparently still in an awful lot of pain.
I think maybe on that swing may still be feeling the effects of that diving attempt on the sinking liner off the bat of Tyler Bubb in the bottom of the second inning. So we'll see who will take over at the first base bag as the runner, and I'm imagining whoever they put in to run will go ahead and stay in and play in right field. Making his way out is Isaiah Morris. Morris, a sophomore, listed on the roster as a second baseman.
And what we originally thought was a wrist injury looks like it could either be a pectoral injury or a shoulder injury, as that was what was being looked at going back to the dugout. So maybe just landing awkwardly on that left shoulder, going to make that diving play. But either way, I think we've seen the end of the game for Mason Lance.
Back to the top of the order, Corey Daly to the plate, tosses over to first, almost got him there. He's already picked off 2 at first base. I was going to say,
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't know what the third one is.
Me either, as the off-speed pitch to Daly bounced foul in behind the plate for strike one. Daly 0 for 1, a strikeout victim looking at a 1-2 pitch back in the first inning.
I think what makes DeLauder's pickoff move so great that he doesn't have to make it necessarily an A move with speed is that he keeps his head kind of going towards the plate, and he doesn't give any gesture in which he's going to go over to first.
Pitch missing outside as the count to Daly goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-0 Hedgesville. Jefferson batting in the top of the third. Here's a fastball off the outside corner, and it's now 2-1. Pitch count mounting a little more in this half inning for DeLauder, who really rolled through the first 2. 13 pitches in the first and 12 pitches in the second. Misses down and in with this one, and it's 3-1. And Derek Snyder, pitching coach, going to come out for a brief word. All right, well, while we got the time, let's jump into our third inning trivia question. Here it is. of Major League Baseball's postseason individual awards. Think of Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Manager of the Year, those sort of things. Which one of those awards was the first one given out? Okay, in other words, this one has been given out the longest because it was the first award that Major League Baseball decided they would give out and then added the others as they went. So which one of those awards was the first one given out by Major League Baseball? Action back underway in the 3-1 pitch, a fastball. Daly fouls it back, and it's 3-2. Station telephone number 304-263-6540, 304-263-6540. Be the first to get through to Caleb Falero with the correct answer and get our prize package from the Suns and Hosses Steak and See. Here's a swing and a line drive into the gap in right center field. That one is down for a hit. Morris heading towards third. He'll be waved around as the ball is still out at the warning track. Daly turns from second and heads to third. He's got an RBI triple, his 7th run batted in on the season, and we've got a tie ball game at 1.
A little bit of a 2-out rally here as Morris is going to come around to score as the pinch hitter for Mason Lance. And again, it all started with a drop throw at first base by Jamison Matthew. He could have got out of the inning, a 1-2-3, but a good piece of hitting by Corey Daly, just driving that into right center. Hunter Coe struggling to get the baseball out on the warning track a little bit, but I think would have been a triple regardless. A very well hit ball into right center.
Now it brings up Taylor Tennant, number 2 hitter in the order, also a strikeout victim his first time up. He takes a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Tennant now a chance to give himself a lead before he toes the pitching rubber again as he takes down and in, and it's 1-1. Well, what an inning. A walk and then a pickoff, a base hit and then a pickoff, a third strike wild pitch in the dirt, and the throw not handled by the first baseman puts a runner on, and Corey Daly makes him pay with the RBI triple into the right center field gap. The 1-1 pitch missing for ball 2 to Tennant. Now with 2 outs and another run 90 feet away, Tennant trying to give Jefferson a lead. Time taken by the batter as Tennant steps out.
And Daly proving that when you have a fastball coming at this velocity, you make contact, it's going to go a long way.
Here comes that 2-1, and it's bounced foul at the plate. That one, it looked like, came off the front foot of Taylor Tennant.
Tennant way out in front of that pitch.
Yeah, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He'll gather his thoughts before stepping back in, awaiting the break even from DeLauder. A 1-1 game now in the top of the 3rd. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tennant late on that one.
Well, a little bit of 2-out magic and just a bizarre inning. 2 pickoffs at first base and air, allowing the first runner to get on base and come around for Jefferson. But they tie it up with 1 run here in the top of inning number 3.
We will head to the bottom of the 3rd. When we come back to Eagle Field, it's Jefferson 1 and Hedgesville 1.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Here we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and wow, what a difference an inning makes, Matt, after throwing 13 pitches in the first and 12 in the second. So 25 pitches through 2 innings, striking out the side. In the top of the 3rd, Chase DeLauder throws 27 pitches just to get out of the inning.
Yeah, it's high school baseball. You look at it's baseball is in general. He strikes out the first 6 guys he sees, and you think, wow, is this guy going to let anybody get on base? And you have innings like that, but a great hit by Corey Daly, driving one into right center and bringing around Morris to score.
Now Kyle West to the plate, swings at the first pitch, sends one opposite field down the left field line, and that one had just enough slice that it ends up foul. West going the other way on that fastball from Taylor Tennant, only about 10 feet away from an extra base hit as that one hit in foul territory. And we'll ask Caleb Falero if we have a winner back at the studio on our third inning trivia to send us the information. And we'll get that out there and give you the answer coming up here in the bottom of the third. The next pitch down and in, count 1-1 now to West, who drew a walk back in the first. Do we have a winner?
Mark Darlington.
All right. The 1-1 pitch. That one high and tight. West getting out of the way of the fastball. And it's 2-1. Congratulations to Mark Darlington, former Musselman standout in his playing days around the Panhandle. 2-1 pitch on the way. This one lifted in the air into left field. Coming in on it, Hayden Stagg. He camps under it and makes the grab for out number 1.
Yeah, pretty routine as West was a little late on that one, driving it to left field. And a good job camping underneath it for Hayden Stagg and bringing it in for out number 1.
Base is empty now for Jamison Matthew. Junior first baseman 0 for 1. Got caught looking at a 2-2 pitch in the first. He'll step to the plate for a second at bat against Taylor Tennant. Tennant works from the first base side of the pitching rubber as a right-hand pitcher and delivers high for ball 1. It's interesting. A lot of guys never really work from the middle part of the pitching rubber. You see the right-hander wants to work from the first base side. The left-hander wants to make his way over and work from the third base side of that pitching rubber. I guess it's all about that arm angle and getting the pitch where you want it to be as you let it go.
And it's all about comfort zone.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, pitching's about what is comfortable for you on the mound.
The 1-0 pitch hit on the right side of the infield. A couple of bounces moving over to his left. Anderson and the second baseman can't make the play as it bounces off his glove and then to his right. And Matthew will reach at first on the E4.
And Anderson overran that play. I think was a little bit quicker. The ball moving a little bit slower than he was expecting. He moving a little bit quicker than he needed to get to that baseball. I think he thought it was hit a little more in the gap than it was and really overran that and kicking off the heel of his glove as he had to go back with the opposite hand that he needed with that left hand trying to go back towards his right. So an awkward play to make and now base runner on.
One down with a runner at first for Brady Weaver. He looks at ball 1 inside. A pair of errors now committed by Jefferson. Tied at 1 here in the bottom of the third. We'll get to our answer to the trivia question here in a moment as Tennant throws over, sending Matthew back in on the head first dive. So Mark Darlington gets the $30 in gift certificates to Haas's Steak and See and 4 tickets to a Hagerstown Suns minor league baseball game. Fastball down low in the dirt, scoots by the catcher, and Matthew going to head for second. Likely a wild pitch as that one seemed to get right down to the dirt at or under the glove of Colson Titus as it got through. So it puts a run in scoring position as Weaver will await the 2-ball no-strike pitch. By the way, the Suns just 1-4 to start the season, dropping game 1 of a series in Lakewood last night. They play in Lakewood tonight and tomorrow before the home opener at Municipal Stadium on Thursday. Curveball on the 2-0 on the inside corner for a strike. Now 2-1, and you can watch Thursday's home opener on TV 10. It'll be John Kosis who will handle the play-by-play duties for the Suns. Swinging away, Weaver sends a high drive deep into left center field. No doubt about it, it is gone for his 5th home run of the year. It scores Jamison Matthew as well, and the 2-run blast will put Hedgesville back in front now 3-1.
He had no doubt about that one. It was a ball right down the heart of the plate, and Brady Weaver hits home run number 5 and RBI number 18 and 19 as he just absolutely crushed one over the co-construction sign here in left center field.
Well, he is swinging a hot bat, Matt. Back-to-back games with a home run, as yesterday at Hampshire, Weaver had 2 hits, a home run, and 3 runs batted in.
Hitting is contagious. When you get going on a roll, it's hard to stop. But the other way, if you get into a slump, it's awful hard to come out of, too. Just ask Chris Davis. When you're swinging a hot bat, especially at the high school level, you have all the momentum in the world to keep swinging that hot bat.
First pitch to Ty Snyder for a strike. The next one a swing and a miss. Down in the count now, 0-2. Snyder 0 for 1 with a ground out to short his last time up. Tennant steps off the pitching rubber. Asks Colson Titus to go through the signs again, and now that 0-2 delivery, and it misses up and away 1-2. So the error costly as Matthew reaches on that ground ball to the right side of the infield that could have been the second out of the inning. And then Weaver makes Jefferson pay with a 2-run blast. Here's that 1-2, a swing and a miss. And that is a strikeout for the second out of the inning, and strikeout number 5 for Taylor Tennant.
Good battle back batter for Taylor Tennant on the mound. You just never know how a high school kid's going to react when he has a home run hit against him, and a home run of that magnitude.
Yes.
As that was a ball crushed over the fence in left center, but a good job to compose himself on the mound by Taylor Tennant.
Tyler Bubb to the plate, takes that breaking pitch for a strike. Bubb, a single back in the second inning. That looping liner into right field that Mason Lance made a dive for and ultimately injured himself and is now out of the game. Bubb swings, fouls the 0-1 back out of play, and it's 0-2. All right, Matt. Of Major League Baseball's postseason individual awards, which one was given out first? Mark Darlington knew. Do you know? 0-2 on the way. Off-speed pitch bounce towards the third baseman. Horowitz has it on that chest-high bounce and makes that throw across the diamond in time to get him. Bubb is retired 5-3, and down goes Hedgesville. But an error and a 2-run home run from Brady Weaver puts the Eagles back out in front. We'll give you a little more time to think about it, Matt, and we'll get the answer to our trivia question as we go to the top of the fourth with Hedgesville on top of Jefferson 3-1.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
Evolving what we try to do as physicians and as a health system and organization is the mission of WVU Medicine, and it's an exciting mission to be a part of.
With the knowledge and the years of practice that they've put into this institution, you know, they know a lot. They can help you, and they've helped me a lot.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
Inning number 4 coming your way as we welcome you back to Eagle Field. Caleb Falero at the studio along with Matt Crawford. I'm Matt Miller, and with your play-by-play, we turn it over to Matt.
Colson Titus now up to the bat. Chase DeLauder out for his 4th inning of work. First pitch, a breaking ball in on the outside corner for strike 1.
Titus 0 for 1, a strikeout victim looking at a 1-2 pitch back in that first inning.
The 0-1 to Titus misses high and inside, we're going to call it.
It was close.
Yeah, very borderline pitch. The inside part of the strike zone has been friendly today for the pitcher as the breaking ball in the outside corner will catch the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Titus came in the 3 spot, jumping up from the bottom of the order last night, a 250 hitter. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss on the outer edge. Titus goes down on strikes on 4 pitches and another strikeout. For Chase DeLauder. We now have that as strikeout number 9 on the game.
All right, Matt, do you have the answer to our 3rd inning trivia? Which one of the postseason awards given out first?
I'm going with either Gold Glove or Silver Slugger. Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong, okay. Colin Horowitz up to bat, takes a breaking ball on the outer edge for strike 1.
They didn't even know what that was back in the day when the MVP award was first handed out.
I figured that was too simple. You went with an easy one tonight. The 0-1 to Horowitz, a towering fly ball to center field, going back onto this. Hunter Coe making the catch on the warning track, over the shoulder catch that is, and he'll bring it in for out number 2. A great hit by Colin Horowitz, and that ball trailing away from Hunter Coe in center field, but Coe making the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 2.
Well, again, that wind blowing out that direction as we look at a pair of American flags on the grounds here at the high school and the Little League field right next door. And nice job by Coe to track that one down. Got a beat on it, kept a good steady pace, and ran it down on the warning track.
Stevie Lee up to the plate as he takes strike 1. Lauder quickly into the 0-1. Another strike right down the middle. No balls, 2 strikes to Stevie Lee.
Just to let you know, the MVP award first presented in 1911.
Here comes the 0-2 to Lee. That one misses low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Listen to how long it took for the next award to be given. What was next in the line? Rookie of the Year came along 1947.
Here comes the 1-2 from Coe. Breaking balls. Lee pops up to the right side of the infield. Camping underneath it is Jamison Matthew. He'll bring it in for out number 3. 1-2-3. The side retired here in the top of inning number 4. And Hedgesville will be up to bat in the bottom of inning number 4. They still hold the 3-1 lead. They'll be back in 1 minute. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face. When someone close to you passes away, it's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
We head to the bottom of inning number 4. Caleb Brown set to step up, the first batter for Hedgesville here in the bottom half of inning number 4. A 3-1, the Eagle lead. It was a home run by Brady Weaver to deep left center in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That gave Hedgesville the lead they hold at the moment. It was a triple for Corey Daly. That knotted the game up at 1 after in the 1st inning. It was a E5 that would come around to score a run again off the bat of Brady Weaver. A first pitch to Caleb Brown. Misses for ball 1. The 1-0 from Taylor Tennant. Swing and a miss by Brown. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the storyline through 3.5. 3 runs on 5 hits, an error, 5 left, 3 in scoring position for Hedgesville.
The 1-1 from Tennant as Brown fouls it off to the left of our broadcast position, hitting the net behind home plate and bouncing back in for Colson Titus to gather.
Jefferson, 1 run on 2 hits with 2 errors. They've left 1, and that runner was left in scoring position.
Out of the windup, here's Tennant with the 1-2 and fouled off. Good job, Caleb Brown, fouling it off, and as it fouls off, the mask of Colson Titus. So Brown staying alive, fouling off the 1-2. Tennant working in his 4th inning. He's given up 5 hits so far in this one. Again, the 1-2 from the windup. That one fouled off as a couple of members of the coaching staff and the third base dugout for Jefferson hitting the deck as that one came off the end of the bat of Caleb Brown, and he lives to see another pitch.
Now this is a big out right now for Taylor Tennant because you go back to the top of the order and Josh Rush, and then right after him you've got DeLauder and Coe and West, and those are some tough outs to get. You really like to get the leadoff man here.
Once again, the 1-2 from Tennant, breaking ball on the outer edge, too far outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I want to finish getting out the information on our trivia question as we talked about the MVP award first presented in 1911. The National League winner was Frank Schulte, outfielder for the Cubs.
The 2-2 high and inside as Brown ducks out of the way. The ball gets back to the backstop. past the outstretched arm of Colson Titus. The count has run full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, so a good at bat for Caleb Brown, who is now going to see pitch number 8 as he's fouled off a couple. Count at one point was 1-2. Brown fouled off a couple and back-to-back balls. Now the count full as Brown will take a time and step out of the batter's box, look down the first base line.
By the way, Ty Cobb was the winner in the American League back in 1911.
Heard of him. Here's the 3-2 out of the windup for Tennant. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Brown thought it was high and inside, but he will have a seat on the bench as the fastball catches the upper inside edge of the strike zone. A strikeout for Taylor Tennant. Make that strikeout number 6 on the day for Tennant.
That's a big out, as we talked about, with Josh Rush stepping in from the leadoff spot. All right, you went from 1911 to 1947 before a Rookie of the Year award was presented. The first one to get that, Jackie Robinson of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Rush rips one to shortstop. Corey Daly has it over the first base. Zach Rose hauls it in. One pitch is all Josh Rush wanted to see. Grounded out to shortstop for the second out of the inning. That's going to go 6-3 for out number 2.
The Cy Young Award came next, not until 1956. The first recipient, Don Newcomb of the Dodgers. Back then, when they had the Cy Young, you only had one in all of baseball, not one in each league like they do now.
Chase DeLauder stepping up to the plate. Getting that open stance from the left side of the plate. Takes the first pitch he sees low and outside for ball 1.
The next award, Manager of the Year. When did it first get presented? Are you ready? 1983.
DeLauder steps out of the way as that breaking ball breaks inside. Almost hitting him, kind of hunchbacks it a little bit. As that ball gets past Titus again to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike on DeLauder. DeLauder in this one grounded into a fielder's choice. Also had a single back in the number 2, the 1-1, or make that the 2-0. Misses outside, so 3 balls, no strikes on DeLauder. Here's a 3-0 from Tennant. That one misses outside, and DeLauder will reach on a base on balls.
I'm not surprised there. With 2 outs, you kind of pitch around him. See if you can get him to chase something. He didn't, and you give him first base and now go to work on Hunter Coe. Not that the job gets a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Coe with a double back in the first inning. What's the strikeout victim in the second? Coe will step into the right side of the plate, the right-handed batter's box.
Ryan Fry, by the way, taking over again as the courtesy runner at first.
So Fry extends his lead a couple steps off first base. And from the stretch, the first pitch to Coe, breaking ball in for strike 1. Coe watched that one go by again, a breaking ball starting right at Coe, right on the inner edge of that plate and breaking on the outer edge.
Tennant seems to like that breaking pitch against Coe, not really giving him much in the line of a fastball.
This one a fastball ground to Corey Daly. He'll take it himself to second base for the unassisted 6 for the third out of the inning. So a walk issued to Chase DeLauder, but other than that, nothing doing. No runs in the bottom of the 4th. We'll go to the top of the 5th. Hedgesville still owns the 2-run advantage. A 3-1 your score here from Eagle Field. We'll be back for the 5th inning. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Heading to inning number 5, Hayden Stang will be the first batter for the Cougars. Hedgesville the 3-1 lead. DeLauder back on the mound for his 5th inning of work. Stang squares around a bunt, takes that one low and outside, and he pulls back. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, if you're having some trouble putting the bat on the ball, just 2 hits through the first 4 at-bats for Jefferson. You square around and just try to put one in play somehow, make this defense have to work.
The 1-0 to Stang. He's late on that one, fouls it off down the left field line, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stang, a strikeout victim, back in the 2nd. Did see 6 pitches in that at-bat, but did go down swinging. Breaking ball on the inside edge and in for strike 2. Stang bailing out on that one and just catching the inner edge of the strike zone.
Yeah, clearly he didn't agree with that one, thought it missed inside.
The 1-2 low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got to understand, though, your plate umpire setting up on that inside shoulder of the catcher, and looking at it from that angle is going to probably give that inside corner.
Here comes the 2-2, and Stang swinging a miss on a high fastball. He goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today and make that strikeout number 10 for Chase DeLauder.
Well, DeLauder with 10 strikeouts in a win against St. James earlier this season, 10 more strikeouts in a win against Morgantown, so not new territory for him.
Brings up Dalton Reed. Reed takes one inside for strike 1. Dalton Reed reached on a walk back in the 3rd. Would get picked off at first base, the first of back-to-back pickoffs at first. Reed scoots out of the way of a ball low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Reed, a senior. One of 3 seniors, 4 juniors, 3 sophomores in this Jefferson starting lineup.
Fastball, Reed swings through. He falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes as DeLauder working as quick as ever on the mound right now. Here comes that 1-2 to Reed. Fastball on the outer edge. Strike 3 looking. Dalton Reed will be the 2nd strikeout victim of this inning. This one a backwards K in our scorebook. And strikeout number 11 for DeLauder on the mound through 4 2/3. Brings up the left-handed Zach Rose. Rose reached on a single back in inning number 3. Fouls the first pitch he sees off to the screen right in front of us.
Matt, you look at the outs recorded, and you have 2 pickoffs, a fly out to center, and a pop out to first. Everything else a strikeout.
Yeah, it's really that 3rd inning, a walk, a single, and then an error that really got everything going.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 to Rose, and very similar to the first pitch, fouls this one off to the net, right to the left of Matt Miller.
Yeah, without the error on the 3rd strike wild pitch, there wouldn't have been a run scored because Corey Daly, who came up with that 2-out RBI triple into the right center field gap, wouldn't have got that at bat in that inning.
Here's the 0-2, and Zach Rose swings through the fastball that was high and inside, and the side goes down on strikes. So a strikeout for Stang, Reed, and Rose in the inning. And Chase DeLauder, after a interesting 3rd inning, has come back to true form in the 4th and 5th. We have that as now 12 strikeouts through 5 innings of work. Hedgesville go to the bottom of inning number 5, still ahead by 2 runs. 3-1 is their lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th. Next is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
Number 22, Kyle.
Left-handed Kyle West will lead off the bottom of inning number 5. Hedgesville, the 3-1 lead at home against the Jefferson Cougars. Hedgesville came into this one 13-3, Jefferson 13-2 after suffering their second loss of the year last night at Martinsburg. The first pitch to Kyle West misses high and outside, ball one.
Yeah, 8 of the last 10 in the win column for Hedgesville, 9 of the last 10 in the win column for Jefferson. So two teams that have been playing well.
The 1-0 to West, he grounds out to Horwitz at third base. Cullen Horwitz can't come up with it. It falls in the middle of the diamond, and reaching on the infield air will be Kyle West. Would have been a tough play for Cullen Horwitz to make, but had it in his glove momentarily, and then making the transfer, just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, perhaps took his eye off of it to get a look at West, who's very speedy coming out of that left-hand batter's box, and then wasn't able to handle it cleanly.
And something we mentioned about Taylor Tennant coming in, 10 runs given up with him on the mound, but only 3 have been earned runs for Tennant as Jamison Matthews swings and misses on his first pitch he sees in this at-bat for strike one. So the defense has not always been sharp behind Taylor Tennant. West getting an average lead off first base, but Tennant will check back over. I think West was expecting that one, as again only about 2 shuffles off first base.
Matt, you talked about the record for these two teams here in this bottom of the 5th. We'll see what's going on elsewhere around the EPAC.
Here comes the other one, caught by Zach Rose in foul territory. He'll tag up a Kyle West and double up Hedgesville. It was a flare down the first base line. Zach Rose was holding on Kyle West on the 0-1 pitch to Matthew, and Matthew fouled one off right at first base. So with Zach Rose playing over there, still holding on, the runner is able to take about 2 steps to his left, make the catch, then step on first base and beat a West who had got his secondary lead already. So a double play. So now the base is empty for Brady Weaver, who his last time up a towering 2-run homer. And he takes that first pitch outside for ball one. Here's the 1-0. That one low for ball two. So that one will be scored as a line out to third, and then a 3 unassisted. So an unassisted double play for Zach Rose. Base is empty for Brady Weaver. Swing and a miss on the 2-0. The 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, it was Jamison Matthew reaching on the air in the third. And then Brady Weaver coming up and hitting one deep to left center over the fence for the 2-run shot that gives Hedgesville their 2-run lead now. The 2-1 misses low and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Matt checking out other teams in the EPAC. Spring Mills 10-7, trying to end a 3-game slide. Got rained out yesterday against James Wood. Tonight they're at Hampshire.
Here comes that 3-1, driving it to the opposite way of the infield was Brady Weaver. Corralling it in is Chase Anderson over to Zach Rose. That'll go down as a 4-3 for out number 3, and a unconventional 1-2-3 inning, as again doubling up Kyle West doubling up Jameson Matthew. Tagging out Kyle West at first base was Zach Rose. So we'll go to the top of inning number 6. Hedgesville still the advantage, 3-1 over Jefferson. The 6th inning coming up next. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Top of inning number 6, Hedgesville still holds a 2-run lead at 3-1. In Major League Baseball scores, our Washington Nationals in the bottom of the 4th against the Phillies in Philadelphia The Phillies ahead 4-1 in that one, and the A's taking on the O's. Oakland up 5-0 and a 4 in that one. Top of inning number 6, DeLauder back on the mound as Dylan McCartney will have his first at-bat of this ballgame.
And McCartney came in to spell Mason Lance in right field back in that third inning when Lance went out with the injury after trying to make a diving catch.
1-0 misses low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes that 2-0. That one right down the pipe for strike one as McCartney just watched that one go by.
And McCartney on this season, 8 hits, 26 at bats. That's a .308 average, .419 on base percentage.
That 2-1, a foul ball. Looked like it hit right off the front of home plate and bounced high into the air. Running up to get it was Brady Weaver, standing in foul territory. Count now knotted up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
5 walks, 5 strikeouts for McCartney in his 26 at-bats. Again, for that .419 on base percentage.
And a guy in McCartney that if Taylor Tennant can't go the entire way, you may expect to see him in the later innings. Talking to John Lowry Sr. yesterday, a guy he feels comfortable with going into the later innings. Here's the 2-2 and a check swing by McCartney at the plate. Catches the outer edge of the strike zone. He'll go down looking. A strike 3 called at the plate.
So 13 strikeouts now for DeLauder, just 1 base on balls, and has given up just 1 run on 2 hits. No doubt he's on top of his game.
And we'll throw pitch number 80 right now to Corey Daly. So still cruising pitch-wise as the first pitch to Daly, high and outside the fastball, ball 1.
Well, we mentioned earlier as we take a look at the other teams in the EPAC, Spring Mill's trying to snap a 3-game slide at Hampshire tonight. Looks like they'll do it. Top of the 3rd inning, 12-4, Spring Mill's with the lead.
The 1-0 to Corey Daly. He takes a hearty cut on a pitch high and outside. Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike.
We'll have Spring Mills tomorrow night as they host Musselman.
The 1-1 Daly watches go by for strike 2. That one about letter high, but catching the upper edge of that strike zone. Now he's behind 1 ball, 2 strikes as here's that pitch from DeLauder, and a swing and a miss, another hearty cut from Daly, but he will go down on strikes for the second out of this inning, the second strikeout of this inning.
So 14 Ks now for DeLauder. He struck out the side in the first, did it again in the second, 1 more time in the 5th, a strikeout away from doing it here in the 6th as well.
5 balls total have been put in play in this game for Jefferson. 5. The first pitch to Taylor Tennant, that one high and inside, going off the glove of Brady Weaver. No harm, no foul. He'll run it down and toss it back to the mound.
Martinsburg in action tonight at home against the Washington Patriots. Bottom of the 5th inning at P.O. Faulkner Park, and it's a 4-1 Martinsburg lead in that one.
The 1-0 low to Tennant. 2 balls, no strike to the opposing pitcher, who we do believe will come out for the bottom of inning number 6. Here's that 2-0 to Tennant, misses way outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Just 1 walk so far allowed by Chase DeLauder. But he now behind Taylor Tennant, a 3-0. Here is that 3-0 pitch from the windup. That one, a swing, and DeLauder makes a stab at it. He'll step over to first. Matthew brings it in. And on the 3-0, apparently a green light for Taylor Tennant, or at least he gave himself a green light and bounced it back to the pitcher. A great stab at it by Chase DeLauder, tossed it over to first, and 3 up, 3 down here in the top of inning number 6. And Jefferson down to their final 3 outs in this ball game. As we go to the bottom of inning number 6, it's Hedgesville 3, Jefferson 1. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
to prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Bottom of inning number 6, Hedgesville holding on to a 2-run lead. A phenomenal game so far for Chase DeLauder. Really as good of a pitching duel as I think we chalked it up to be at the beginning of this ball game. And Taylor Tennant pitching a very good game, a game that's going to win him a lot of ball games if he pitches like this throughout the season. Ty Snyder up to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. He swings through the first pitch he sees. 0-1 the count to Snyder. Here comes that 0-1 pitch. Another swing and a miss by Snyder.
Looking for his first hit. Snyder has grounded out to short and has struck out swinging. One of 6 Ks on the game for Tennant.
Here comes that 0-2 from Tennant. That one low and away for ball 1. Much to the dismay of some Jefferson faithful sitting down below us to the left.
Well, and Taylor Tennant himself, a little bit of a look there at the end of that one. Felt like he had strike 3.
So here comes that 1-2. Another swing and a miss on a breaking ball to Snyder, and Snyder retired on strikes. He'll be the first out here in the bottom of inning number 6.
7 Ks now for Tennant. The out officially recorded 2-3 as that pitch was in the dirt. Colson Titus stepping out in front of the plate and making that throw to first to make sure that Snyder was retired.
Now stepping in will be Tyler Bubb, the right-handed batter, a single back in inning number 2, a ground-out victim in inning number 3. The first pitch to Bubb, low and outside for ball 1. Again, much to the dismay of a couple of Jefferson Cougar faithful below us to the left, again, thinking that caught the outer edge of the strike zone. Here comes that 1-0 in a very similar location. That one a fastball catching the outer edge of the strike zone as Bubb watched that one go by. And now Tennant ready for the 1-1. Here's the delivery. Low and outside ball 2.
Now remember, we said it earlier. Neil Ryman-Schneider behind the plate sets up on that inside shoulder of the catcher towards the batter, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. So you'll tend to get that inside corner, but may not always get that outside corner.
The 2-1 to Bubb. Lifts into right field. Camping under it is McCartney in foul territory. He'll bring it in for the second out of the inning. So Tyler Bubb lifted one into foul territory down the right field line. It was Chase Anderson, Zach Rose working in on it. They were working back on it, rather. They weren't going to have a play, but McCartney making a great read in the outfield, playing right field for Mason Lance, who left earlier with an injury, and McCartney camps under it in foul territory by a step or two for the second out of the inning. Now the first pitch to Caleb Brown as he rockets one down the third base line, was late on the fastball, and once again a couple players and coaches having to quickly hit the deck in the Jefferson dugout.
Yeah, Brown 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, just looking to make some contact and get on with 2 outs against Tennant here in this bottom of the 6th. Looking ahead to the final at bat for Jefferson, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters will come up in that top of the 7th, so at least the part of the order you would like to see.
The 0-1 from Tennant bounces right in front of the batter's box, takes a weird spin and bounces right up to about eye level with us on the second story of the press box right behind home plate. So the count 1-1 to Brown. As coming set and getting ready is Tennant. Another foul ball. That one actually, I believe, Nick's a member of the Jefferson coaching staff. Has a couple sitting right in front of the brick backstop outside the dugout.
They're moving now.
Yeah, Caleb Brown apparently has something out for the Jefferson coaching staff. Has hit a couple of foul balls hard in that direction. Here's the 1-2 from Tennant. That one high, 2-2, the count to Brown.
And want to finish out our look at the EPAC. The Musselman-Appleman not playing tonight. They got a win at Washington yesterday, 12-6. As the Applemen improved to 7-4, they'll play at Spring Mills tomorrow night. Again, we'll have that broadcast.
The 2-2 pitch to Brown. This one, a chopper that is going to get fouled down the third base line.
And that one right off the plate had some spin to it, hugged the line, but ended up in foul territory. The Patriots at 0-13, trailing Martinsburg in the 5th inning, as we mentioned earlier. And the Cardinals with a lead over Hampshire, trying to pick up their 11th win. Martinsburg with a win would be 13-5.
Here comes that 2-2 again to Brown. A swing and a miss on a high fastball. He'll be retired on strikes for the second strikeout of this inning and make that a strikeout number, we'll call that strikeout number 8 on the game for Taylor Tennant. We have a half inning left to play unless Jefferson can get a couple here in the top of inning number 7, but they're down to their final of 3 outs. Is coming on for the complete game is Chase DeLauder. We'll have the top of the 7th next. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Top of the 7th inning, and it'll take you the rest of the way in this one. Matt Miller.
Colson Titus to get it started in the 7th for Jefferson. Number 3 hitter in the order, starting catcher, takes strike 1 from Chase DeLauder, trying to get the complete game win. Has struck out 14 through 6 innings. We now have him at 89 pitches as he delivers a called strike 2 to Titus, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. The left-hander ready. DeLauder to the plate. It's a bouncing ball foul. First base side. Holding it, no balls and 2 strikes. Here in this top of the 7th, we'll present this date in baseball history, brought to you by Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. For all of your automotive repair needs, call Bears Repair at 304-262-0208. Fastball stays high. Titus lays off. Now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cullen Horowitz due next, then Stevie Lee. DeLauder to the plate, and this one lined foul just over top of the Hedgesville dugout first base side. Well, after Caleb Brown sent a few to the Jefferson dugout the other way in the last half inning, Titus returns the favor. But this one went up and over. No one had to get out of the way. Off-speed pitch. Nice job by Titus to stay back and foul it to the screen.
Didn't quite stay back. Was able to keep the hands back. His entire weight had gone forward. He was anticipating a fastball. Was able to keep the hands back and do everything he needed to do to just get a piece of metal on it and stay alive.
Now that 1-2 pitch again fouled out of play off the first base side. I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's holding it a ball and 2 strikes. Titus just keeps spoiling pitches, staying alive in this at-bat. There's that off-speed, down low and outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a great waste pitch for Chase DeLauder. He's in a battle right now with Colson Titus and just trying to get him to chase one in the dirt.
Here's the pitch, grounded on the right side of the infield, ranging over to his left, the second baseman. Up with that one, Tyler Bubb, and the throw to first is in time to get him for out number 1. That throw almost didn't have enough on it as Bubb almost aimed it to the first baseman as opposed to really letting it go. And Matthew had to bend down to pull that one in. One away, bases empty for Cullen Horowitz. And we check out this date in baseball history going to April 9th of 1959. Here's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike to Horowitz. It was on today's date, 1959, at Washington's Griffith Stadium that the Baltimore Orioles become the first Major League team to turn a triple play on opening day. Fastball down low. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Still the hometown Senators post a 9-2 win over the O's behind a solid 7-hit complete game performance by Pedro Ramos. Breaking pitch down in the dirt as the count goes 2-1 to Cullen Horowitz. This date in baseball history brought to you by Bears Repair. For all your automotive repair needs, call the Certified Mechanics at Bears Repair at 304-262-0208. Next pitch, a swing and a miss. A mighty cut by Horowitz on the 2-1, and it's 2-2.
Well, you correct me every time I make that statement, so I'm going to correct you here. Does he take anything else but hardy cuts?
No. Generally, no. The 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Here it comes. That one down and in, and it's 3-2. Base is empty with one away. Final at bat for Jefferson here in the top of the 7th inning. 3-1. Hedgesville with a lead by 2 runs. Here's that peg-off pitch, and that one down low. Ball 4. Horowitz draws his 6th walk of the season, 2nd walk of the day for Chase DeLauder. There is a 1-out base runner, and it brings up Stevie Lee. And Lee has some power, Matt. 2 home runs and 17 driven in this season.
Lee looking for his first hit of this ball game. A pop-out victim and a strikeout victim. He swings through the first pitch he sees, down 0-1.
Hey, take that back. That really wasn't a swing. He just kind of waved and missed. He was clearly fooled by that one, and this is where John Lowry is so good, as he is going to make, it looks like, a change. I wondered if he was just going to call Stevie Lee down for a quick conference, maybe try to settle things down for him just a little bit. Instead, it looks like Coach Lowry's going to go to the bench.
Again, I've never seen a coach, and not questioning this at all, not judging at all, just I've never seen a coach in all my years of baseball have switched so many players in the middle of a count. Whether it's a pitcher on the mound with a 2-0 count or now a batter coming to the plate down 0-1. Just, you don't see it often, and John Lowry Sr. not afraid to do it at all.
Jefferson, number 7, Michael Jeffries.
So Michael Jeffries is being called on. Jeffries taking over with the count at 0-1 as he now steps to the plate here in this 7th inning with a runner at first and 1 away. And the right-hand batter swings through this pitch, and he's down in the count 0-2.
It was a good pinch hit decision for Coach Lowry last night with Dalton Reed. Ended up driving in some runs and some much-needed runs at that point in the game. So
toss over to first, and back in on the dive goes Cullen Horowitz. By the way, let's talk a little college baseball. Shepherd got the win at Shippensburg today, 23-10. It's 22 wins in the last 25 games for the Rams. The softball team sweeping Shippensburg 2-0 and 4-0. Jeffries fouling away the 0-2 pitch to the screen. Count holding at 0-2. 1 out, 1 on in a 3-1 game. Hedgesville leading. Chase DeLauder trying to get the complete game victory. Jeffries awaiting. Here's that 0-2. That fastball high. It bounces off the backstop all the way over the head of Weaver and back out towards the mound, where DeLauder picks it up in the grass in front of the mound, and Horowitz goes to second base on a wild pitch.
And if Weaver doesn't take a few steps back to go chase that ball may bounce right back to where he is standing. He may have a decent throw to second base to try to get Horowitz.
A 1-2 curveball and a swing and a miss had Jeffries out in front of that one. Strikeout number 15 on the night for DeLauder. 2 away with a runner in scoring position. Hayden Stang is the due batter, and we will wait and see what head coach John Lowry Sr. may elect to do. Meanwhile, Eric Grove making his way towards the mound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. I would have 20, which would be 117. So is that the end of the pitch count for DeLauder for the night? And I believe that may be the question going on, or can he continue? No, he can continue. I'm looking at the pitch total. It would actually be 107. He can go to the max of 110 and can actually go beyond that because he can finish out the batter in which he reaches that max pitch count. And so he will get a chance to try to close it out. Instead of Hayden Stang, it will be Reagan Ollinger who will be called on. Let's see what Ollinger can do as he strolls to the plate for an at-bat here in this 7th inning with a runner at second and 2 away. And the first pitch to him missing for ball 1. DeLauder ready with that 1-0 pitch. Here it comes, and it's a ground ball foul, first base side. Now at 1-1. These two teams would look to even up their season series as Jefferson scored a 6-0 victory at home against the Eagles back at the end of March. And now here we are in the early part of April, and Hedgesville looking to return the favor. 1-1 pitch misses down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Ollinger, 4 of 14 on the season. That's a .286 average. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for a .412 on base percentage. Grounds this one along the first base line, but a foul ball.
Wasn't fouled by more than a few inches. Didn't go foul till about where the grass meets the dirt in the infield, about 3 feet before first base.
And that one hugged the line. Jamison Matthew, the first baseman, going over, but ended up touching that one in foul territory. So now Ollinger awaits, and the 2-ball, 2 strike pitches due. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He got him, and Chase DeLauder gets the complete game victory with 16 strikeouts as Hedgesville tops Jefferson in a good one by the final score of 3-1. We'll come back and tell you all about it as we get into our post-game show, brought to you by The Final Score, with plenty of screens to watch the games, pool tables, trivia nights, and great food and drink selections. Hey, meet your friends at The Final Score, 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. We'll be back to tell you all about it. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
And against just 3 defeats for the Jefferson Cougars, the rare occasion in which they suffer back-to-back losses after a tough loss 5-2 at Martinsburg last night. The Cougars fall to 13-3 on the season, dropping this one by a 3-1 final. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Caleb Falero, our studio engineer. Matt, as we recap the scoring in this one, not a lot to talk about because both pitchers were very good.
It was a pitching duel that we hyped up in the pregame, and when we figured out it was going to be Taylor Tennant against Chase DeLauder, knew it was going to be or should be a pitching duel, and that's exactly what we saw. It was a complete game for both of those pitchers. It was 6 innings for Taylor Tennant, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs to his charge, striking out 8, walking 2. And for Chase DeLauder, 7 innings strong, complete game, over 100 pitches. So not sure how much longer he could have gone if it would have been Ollinger getting on base, but 16 strikeouts and just 2 walks. So a extraordinary day for him. Let's make that now 60 strikeouts on the year for Chase DeLauder.
All right, so let's find out how those runs are scored. Scoreless in the bottom of the first when Josh Rush reached on an infield single. He was erased on a 6-4 fielder's choice off the bat of Chase DeLauder. Hunter Coe delivered a double deep into the right field corner. That put runners at second and third. Kyle West drew a base on balls. They were loaded when Jamison Matthews struck out for the second out of the inning. And then Brady Weaver bounced one on the left side of the infield. Cullen Horowitz couldn't handle it cleanly. The error allowed a run to score. Ty Snyder grounded out to short to end the inning, but Hedgesville led 1-0. Top of the third, Jefferson would answer. After a walk to Dalton Reed, he was picked off at first base. Zach Rose then singled to right. He also got picked off at first base. Then Mason Lance struck out on a pitch in the dirt. The throw down to try to get him at first wasn't handled cleanly by Jamison Matthews, so the third strike wild pitch and an error allowed the base runner to reach. Lance exited the game because he had been injured earlier trying to dive for a ball, so Isaiah Morris took over at first base, and with 2 outs, Corey Daly ripped a triple into the right center field gap. That scored Morris. After that, a strikeout of Taylor Tennant ended the inning, but Jefferson had plated a run to tie it, and it was 1-1. Bottom of the third, with 1 out, Jamison Matthew reached on an error to the second baseman Chase Anderson, and then Brady Weaver came to the plate, delivered a big 2-run home run out over that left center field fence, and that's the difference in this ball game as Hedgesville goes on for the win by that 3-1 final. All right, let's take a break and then come back to wrap up our final score postgame show as we run the numbers from this one. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
We welcome you back in one final time tonight here to Eagle Field as we take a look at the numbers from this one. And once again, we remind you that our post-game stats are a service of Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, don't become a statistic. Protect your family and home with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. To learn more, call Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. Pitching totals, well, Matt, you already went over it. Chase DeLauder, the complete game, 16 strikeouts, just 2 hits, gave up a run and walked only 2. He gets the victory, his 6th on the season, now 6-0. Taylor Tennant suffers his first loss. Deserved a better fate, gave up just 3 runs on 5 hits in 6 innings with 8 strikeouts and 2 walks. He'll fall to 5-1. Offensively, Corey Daly had an RBI triple as one of just 2 hits for Jefferson. The other hit, a single into right field for Zach Rose. 5 hits in all for Hedgesville. Josh Rush reached on an infield single. Chase DeLauder had a single to right. He also reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run. Hunter Coe had that deep double into the right field corner. And, of course, Brady Weaver, that huge 2-run home run. The other hit coming from Tyler Bubb, a leadoff single to right in the 2nd inning, but eventually He was stranded at third. Final totals look like this. For Hedgesville, 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, 6 left, 3 in scoring position. Jefferson, a run on 2 hits, 3 errors. They leave 2 both in scoring position. Time of the game, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Hedgesville is now 14-3. Jefferson falls to 13-3. The numbers brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, they have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring too. Call Ben Copenhaver for more at 304-671-2158. We wrap up the Final Score postgame show, so we tell you about our next broadcast. We were going to wait until Friday night to have our next game broadcast, but the weather forecast does not look good by Friday night. So Musselman and Spring Mills, who originally weren't scheduled to play tomorrow night because of rainouts, did reschedule a game, and so tomorrow evening we're going to be at Spring Mills. 7 o'clock will be the first pitch, and 6:40 will be the pregame, and be sure to join us for Miller time from 5 to 6 as well. Let's see how that one plays out. First time they met was the season opener, and it went 8 innings before Spring Mills came away with the 11-6 victory.
And both teams have changed an awful lot since the first game of the season. I've said it a bunch on these game broadcasts. In high school baseball, it's all about your evolution throughout a season and progressing throughout a season. So Spring Mills, I think, after their last couple times out, maybe taking a few steps in the wrong direction. So I'll be interested to see how they come out and play against Musselman tomorrow night. And Musselman just still trying to catch up to everybody game-wise. Not nearly as much on-field experience this year as the rest of the EPAC has. So interested to see what that game brings us tomorrow night.
Well, Spring Mills with a lead over Hampshire as those two teams were playing tonight, and barring a big comeback from Hampshire, looks like Spring Mills will come in with a victory and a little momentum. Meanwhile, Musselman off tonight, and so they'll have a little extra rest and preparation heading into that one tomorrow night. Again, we'll be at Spring Mills for the first pitch at 7 in the pregame at 6:40 Miller time from 5 to 6. Well, thanks for joining us for our coverage of high school baseball. We want to say thank you to both head coaches, John Lowry Sr. and Eric Grove, providing us with information and interviews for our broadcast. Thanks to Athletic Director Aaron Whitford, all the staff and the folks here at Eagle Field for their help, support, and hospitality with our game broadcast. And, of course, we thank you for joining us on each of our broadcast and telecast entities. Our studio engineer is Caleb Valero. For Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, reminding you today's final score. It is Hedgesville 3 and Jefferson 1. Until tomorrow, so long, everyone.
You've been listening to West Virginia High School Baseball. Today's game broadcast has been brought to you by
Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, Bechtel Jewelers, WH Miller Systems, D&N Auto, The Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Suns, Haas's Steak and Sea, Bears Repair, The Final Score, and Atlantic Security.
For the continued excitement of high school, college, and Major League Baseball, keep it tuned to FM 106.5, AM 740, Comcast Cable Channel 10, and online talk radio WRNR.com. All rights reserved.